everybody, welcome back. NCAA Division I Baseball, Regional. Welcome in Bethune-Cookman. Coach will take an opening statement and then comments from the players.
Couldn't ask for a better game, elimination game. Very proud of our student athletes, the body of work that we had throughout the course of the season. There was always belief, and I think that, us in the Southwestern Athletic Conference and being a smaller school with, low resources, I think that, one of our goals is to earn the respect on the national stage. And I think that the student athletes that we had here, have here in our program did just that. You go into it not settling being here in the regional, you go into this winning the regional. And I felt that we had just a good shot at this as the other three teams that are in here. But again, just very proud of our guys, and you go into it trying to earn the respect of teams across the country with the baseball program that we do have here. And it's not done without the support of administration, our assistant coaches, and definitely the student athletes that wear the maroon and gold. So I know we lost, but at the end of the day, I couldn't be, prouder than our guys showing the grit, the resiliency, and showing the spirit of Mary McLeod Bethune rocking the maroon and gold.
Take questions, please.
Sergio, I can see in your face the emotion you're feeling right now, but I know the journey here is kind of winding down. But what's this last couple of weeks been like for you and being with this team? And you had a chance to win both of these ball games while you were here.
Definitely the best 2 weeks of my college career. As you can tell, I'm emotional. I love this sport. I love this team. We did everything we could, fight it with the ass out, and yeah, the best 2 weeks.
Coach, I had a chance to talk to you before Bethune-Cookman moved to the SWAC while you were in the MEAC. And you said SWAC is a baseball conference, but here you are at the top of the SWAC and it's the baseball conference. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a long process, and we've trusted it. Once the announcement was made that we were going to make the transition from the MEAC to the SWAC, we knew internally that we had to step up our game as far as recruiting, the student athletes, right, but also the development of our student athletes, So that's something that we've taken a progression every year. I think that we're starting to scratch the surface of what we want in our program, and we want to be one of the top teams in the SWAC, not only in the SWAC, but one of the top teams in the country. I think that we have a shot to be very special and do something really good in Daytona Beach, and I'm just excited about the future of our program. And it's not done, again, without the support of the administration and support staff and, obviously the student athletes that trust us with our vision and trust us with not only the athletic careers, but their academic careers as well.
And Coach, in 2017, Bethune-Cookman was one game away from winning the regional down in Gainesville. Coming back and being in this regional, where do you see the team fitting and what your ultimate goal is?
The ultimate goal is to win a national championship, and I think that goes for every single Division I baseball program in the country. Just because we're in the Southwestern Athletic Conference and we're a smaller school, we don't shy away from that. Like I said, we're not just happy to be here in the regional. We came in to, win the regional. So I think that we're right there. We're maybe a couple of, pieces away, but at the end of the day, I can't speak for the future. We had the pieces, it's just, unfortunately for us, it just didn't bounce our way. And then just the resilience, the grit of our ball club the entire year led us to this moment, being here at the top of the SWAC. But again, I think we're right there. We're right there. We're just scratching the surface. And if people would give, the Southwestern Athletic Conference an opportunity, they'd be able to understand that there's really good baseball programs, there's really good head coaches, there's really good student athletes that can play not only in a high level, but in elite level as well.
You talk about your progression from this year. Obviously, you come from an ACC school and then not being able to showcase it, but now being able to showcase what you've been able to do, and especially midway through the season towards the end. Just talk about the progression through the year and how you felt.
Yeah, I'm just blessed that I was grateful and to get this beautiful opportunity here. And I just been working really hard. I know I started rough the first few weeks, but I just kept going, kept working with DC and Coach Johnny, and they kept giving me a lot of confidence, so that's what got me going.
Coach, talk about this season overall with, obviously the first SWAC title, but now being able to showcase it in a regional and come just a batter away from being able to possibly extend it and become just the third head coach to be able to get a regional win.
Very proud, very, very proud. When I walked into this situation in the fall of 2018, the goal was to get back to a regional and get this program where it belongs amongst the nation's best, to be honest with you. I can't put it into words because it's been a roller coaster, right, the last couple of years with the opt-out and everything, but just very proud that, you know, our program we've been able to shed a positive light, you know, within our university. So what I feel, obviously no one wants to go home, but I can't be much more ecstatic and pumped up for what these guys have done, and the teams before them laid the foundation for us to get this opportunity. That's what I'm looking forward to. We'll regroup in the next couple of days, and, you know, the plan is to get here or wherever we go and to win it.
What do you think this game showcased today between two teams that are not considered, obviously, P4 or P5 schools? What do you think it showcased with such a great game on ESPN?
Anything can happen in collegiate baseball. You know, it really can. I think for us, just the resilience, the grit. This team was probably the loosest they've been in the last, you know, couple of weeks going through our run. But again, it shows that there's good baseball across the country, not just at the P4 level. And we've seen that where some mid-majors, you know, have been ranked in the top 25, and, you know, Northeastern was probably the hottest team in the country coming into this regional. So the fact that we're able to compete against, you know, obviously the 9 national seed Florida State last night, and with a really good team in Northeastern, it definitely shows what our program is capable of and what we will attain in the future.
Good. Both student athletes start Sergio good. You know, the fan support here for BCU was incredible. I mean, they were into every pitch, and it really felt like in that ninth inning they were going to will you guys to a win. I mean, if you could just kind of talk about your fan support, what it meant to have all those people with you, kind of in the trenches in these last couple ball games.
It's amazing. They're amazing. They just give us the energy to go out there and believe. We always said, like, win the back third. That's our thing. We're probably one of the best teams coming from behind. Today we couldn't do it, but it's because of them. They're always supporting us, and when they say the arena was at Tallahassee, I was happy for that because there's like a 3-hour drive, 4-hour drive, and they will be up here.
Yeah, just going on base what he said, it just means the world, honestly. Just knowing that they're behind us, it's all you can ask for.
Coach, while several schools in the SWAC play teams in lower conferences, you do kind of the opposite. And Coach Jarrett has been graceful enough to put Bethune-Cookman on the schedule. How important is that experience to come into a region?
Well, when you bring a student athlete on board, you want to give them a top-tier experience, you know, and for us, our goal is to get to Omaha, and the only way to get there is to be able to give our student athletes that experience day in and day out. We know college baseball is really good in the state of Florida, so we want to match up against the big schools, right? The Floridas, the Miamis, the Florida States, UCF now that they're in the Big 12. I think it speaks volumes of us not shying away from that type of competition. You know, we want to put our student athletes in that moment as much as we can, so when they come to an uncomfortable setting, they're comfortable. And again, I think that playing the teams that we've played has allowed our guys to be able to take a deep breath and just take it all in, you know, and just play baseball, you know, not being, you know, it's cliche, but like a deer in headlights situation. You know, those guys competed, and even, you know, throughout the course of the year, whenever we played the big schools, it was a dogfight. You know, outside of maybe 1 or 2 games, there's always belief in the dugout, and I think that, again, if more schools would take the opportunity to play against, you know, top-notch programs, it'll definitely, you know, help us as a conference overall. But that's a discussion to be had later. And again, I'm just proud of, you know, being able to represent the Southwestern Athletic Conference in any shape, you know, way or form. And obviously, you know, wearing the BCU across my chest, I wear that with pride. And I love this place, and I'm just ecstatic about the future.
Any more questions? Coach, Bethune, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Hail Wildcats.
Hair Wildcats. Sir, you can take that.
Thank you guys for having us.
Congratulations on a great career.
Thank you.
That's
Can you spoke to the team on it?
Not yet.
Okay.
Thank you,
After
sir.
speak to the team,
Yes, sir.
I'll be set up somewhere.
All right, sounds good. Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Chuck. Thank you for everything.
Thank you. Thank you again. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.